Champions League action is back with Arsenal versus Sevilla. One change from the lineup against Chelsea with Tomiyasu coming in for Zinchenko after the halftime substitution proved to help us recover the 2-0 deficit we found ourselves in. Well, 1-0 at the time, but you know what I mean. We ended up coming back from that after a terrible performance. Anyway, moving on. I was hoping that we'd see Ramsdale because Raya has had he's been all right, but there's been a shakiness, and I was hoping to see Ramsdale come in, considering Mikel's words, talking about how he viewed this the same as any other position. And I feel like in this situation, if it was, for instance, anyone but maybe Saka, he would take them out and, you know, give someone else a chance to see what they can offer. But it's not, as it turns out, that's not what's happened, and we move on. Raya just has to prove himself. I don't know much about Sevilla personally, but I know they have Ramos. So I hope Saka's ankles and Martinelli's ankles, and I just, please do not injure anyone. Don't do a Champions League final against fucking Salah. Don't do any of that shit, alright? These young players with lots of potential, please don't ruin them, right? That is my only worry for this game. Of course, I don't want to lose, but Sergio Ramos with a horrendous tackle is just not something I want to see. They're classically very good in the Europa League. I believe it's them, or I think it's them, or it's Villarreal. I can't remember. I think it's Sevilla. Or maybe it's Villarreal. Prediction is 2-1. Ramos, don't hack any of our players. See you half time. Unsurprisingly, there was issues with the stream, so I listened to the Arsenal commentary, and it sounded like a pretty dull match so far, apart from the last minutes already, where Sevilla was seemingly on top of the game. They seemed to have more of the ball. They were getting some chances at the end. The fans were getting louder and louder. But it's us that comes out on top with Martinelli. Quick counter-attack. I believe it gets to Jesus after they were about to shoot, or they shot and they missed. He does a little turn, opens up space for Martinelli, and he just takes around a keeper and slots at home. So nothing much to really say. I'll get back to you at the end of the game. I'll watch the highlights and let you know what I think. Full time, and it's ended 2-1 in Seville. I think it's called Seville. As you can see, it's the next day. I decided to wait so I could watch the highlights, interviews, so I had a bit better picture of the game to tell you about what's happened. So, second half. We score a goal early, 52 minutes. Gabriel Jesus finds himself on the left-hand side of the pitch by the byline, cuts back, looks for the cross, dummies everyone, and bends it into the far corner. Fantastic finish. Not the kind you would really expect from him, but I'm not complaining. He was really the star of the night today. They scored 5 minutes later, which obviously gave them hope, and their fans started getting louder again. It's a corner whipped in. Pretty simple stuff, really. And their defender, number 5, heads it in. Funnily enough, Jesus was the guy marking him. Felt like a bit of a mismatch, but, you know, does not take away anything from Jesus' game at all. They hit the crossbar, although it was given it was a handball in place, and it wouldn't have counted anyway. After that, it didn't really seem like much was going on. I think there was an effort for Ødegaard where the keeper's out of position, and he blazes it over the bar. Really uncomposed effort, really lashed at it, and kind of sums up how his recent form has been, to be honest. The captain needs to improve, needs to show more. Although I didn't see the game, from what I did see and what I've seen recently, Rice is very good. I think in some of my earlier videos I was saying I wasn't really seeing it with Rice. I was hoping to see more, but in these past few games he's really shown he's a real tank, right? And when he's on the ball, he's got a kind of aura or presence when he's on it. And it's you can feel it. It's very dominant, and he's a very confident player. And he ends up getting the assist for the Jesus goal as well. It's not anything crazy, right? The work is done by Jesus, but he carries the ball into that position and just lays it off for him to finish the job. The middle of the game was kind of dull. There wasn't really anything going on, at least in the highlights, and from when I was listening to the game, it didn't feel like much was going on. Final 10 minutes, I would say, they kind of have a flurry of efforts. 2 minutes to go from full time. This is in injury time. They cross it. It's a dangerous cross right by the 6-yard box, and Raya punches it like Superman punch, but he kind of fucks it up, and it kind of almost like rolls off here, and he gets some backspin on it, and it goes over the crossbar. I was a bit worried when I saw that, but obviously in real time I didn't see it. I just listened. If that had gone in, definitely the debate of whether Ramsdale should be starting the game would be the main thing, right? Because we probably would have drawn 2-2, and that would be what everyone would be talking about. and Jesus would probably get buried underneath all that, which is a shame because he really was man of the match, as the award suggests. There was worry of injury for Jesus in this game. He came off injured. He was pointing to indicate that to the bench, and it was a hamstring issue. In the interview after the game, he said he felt something, and so he came off. But he says he is hopeful. He hopes, and he doesn't think it'll be anything serious. Of course, there will be a checks today and in the coming days, and we'll know before the game on the weekend. When I was watching some other people, it seems that they were actually quite worried about the game. I think Arsenal commentary said it. A couple of YouTubers I watched, like Gunner Blog, said it. They were voicing their concerns about the game. Personally, as you saw in the thing, the only thing I was worried about was Ramos, so I thought we would win this game. The main thing is just the injury for Jesus. As long as he's fit, I think we're on a good trajectory. I think Eddie is okay, but he's nothing compared to Jesus, right? Obviously different players, but the drop in quality is substantial in my opinion, and it's definitely noticeable. Although Eddie can fill in, it's not the same what we get from the role, but he has improved. And so I guess that sparks the question, do we need a striker in January? We are approaching that now, almost in November. January, do we buy a striker? Do we go for Vlahovic? Do we go for Ivan Toney? Let me know what you think in the comments. This is a nice victory. Good for the Champions League. Back to the top of the group. I think we'll be progressing to the latter stages. That is all from me today. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you on Monday.